Oops.
Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast, episode number 73 with Jalynne Loper. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you are not a member of our private Facebook group, you should be because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts, and I'm out of breath. We pulled that off, though.
We did. We
Vaughn came in here with 15 seconds. I went out to get Johnny a Gatorade with 43 seconds. And seeing as how Johnny Loper owns a fitness gym, he would not be real impressed with my ability to run one ladder that's about 15 yards, and now I'm gassed and I need a nap. Cramping. To my right, I have the lovely and talented, always delightful, my loving wife and fantastic mother to our children, Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, also known as Jacked and Tan.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
You're looking great as always.
Thank you very much.
How you feeling about things?
Pretty good.
Got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah. Traveling to Illinois.
What are we gonna do in Illinois?
Gonna run for a little bit.
How long you reckon we'll run for?
My goal's 12 hours.
12 hours. How far are you gonna travel in that amount of time?
Hopefully 50 miles.
50 miles. I'm not gonna do it in 12 hours, but I'm gonna hopefully do 50 miles. And to Amanda's right is our friend Johnny Loper of J-Lo Fitness.
Awesome. Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm great.
I told Johnny that what I knew about him was that he was extremely fit and that he was high energy. And I love high energy. So he's going to be the perfect guest to have around. We've got his family with us. His wife and 2 children are joining us in the studio. And so it's a family affair, as it tends to be at the Lift Heavy Run Long studio.
Nice.
To Johnny's right is the Reverend, Vaughn Rawls.
That's me.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic.
You've got a little running to do this weekend.
Just a little bit.
5K, 10K?
Mm-hmm. A few times.
Multiple times.
A few times over.
So you're going to be doing?
I think I'm going to run with Amanda. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, she said that, and I was like, oh, hey, I am going to have a partner.
Yeah. Vaughn's doing a 100-miler.
Wow.
Yeah.
We could probably.
Well, yeah, if I was.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're wanting to do 24 hours.
Yeah. I might be a little slower than that. I think I'm just going to go and enjoy it. So I might be a little slower than that up front. Because I do have 30 hours, even though I'd like to be done in 24. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to push it at all.
That'll work perfectly as far as motivation goes, because you'll have Amanda to run with. And if you're running a little bit slower than Amanda, you'll know I'm not far behind you. So you're going to have to stay ahead of that unless you want to hear me.
Well, the thing is, everybody's going to stop after 50 miles.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the first 50.
Yeah.
We're not concerned about the yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the coolest thing happened today at work. I'm sitting there working, and these 2 girls come over to I got my headphones on, and you can tell when somebody's going to come and talk to you. Like, you're like, I better take my headphones off. So the headphones come off, and I'm like, hey. And they're like, we have something for you. And so at work, they got me this giant. They made this giant card for me.
Oh,
It's
cool.
about this size and like had 50 people had signed it on the inside of it.
Oh,
It
that's
said,
awesome.
"Run, Vaughn, run." And I left it in the car. I wanted to bring it in and show it, but it was really awesome. And they also got me a big pile of spaghetti,
I saw the
Sweet.
spaghetti. I
Which-
took note of that.
which I drove directly home from work and shoveled in my mouth and took Jackson to basketball and came here.
Did you eat the spaghetti while you were driving?
No, I ate it in the kitchen and Jackson helped me.
Are you a road eater?
No.
There is no food that I cannot eat while mobile.
Oh, yeah. I don't really like eating in the car because I'll usually leave whatever it is I'm eating in the car. I won't ever come out of the car.
Ew.
So, like, they'll have, garbage or something.
Amanda and I have very different thoughts about how long food stays good while not in a refrigerator.
He thinks it always stays good out of the refrigerator.
Like
As long as
know.
it's in the refrigerator, you can eat it. So, like, 6
No,
months
like
later.
if it's sitting out of the fridge like for 2 or 3 days, I'm like, that's chicken. He's like, I know.
That's gross.
He hasn't died yet.
That was pretty good. Guess what we got?
What do we got?
Couple reviews. I
review.
bet y'all didn't know that. We got 2 of them. And I didn't tell y'all about them because then it's not as exciting for me, but I'm going to read them.
Did you also hire a virtual assistant?
The first one's from Sam I Am. And I'm pretty sure that would be
I know who that
our
is.
boy Sam
That's a
Renfro.
real person.
He gave us 5 stars.
Please read it.
This is the podcast that got me started in CrossFit. I never miss an episode and look forward to Wednesdays to listen to the new episode. It's fun and informative. Thank you, Sam. The next one is by Stroller Runner. I don't know who that is,
Okay.
but she gave us a 5-star review, and it says, witty, intelligent, with a side of smart A.
Wonder who that is.
I've been a fan of LHRL for a long time, and I was recently on maternity leave, so I had to binge watch all the episodes from the beginning. It was fun to see how the podcast evolved from just 2 guys hanging out in the shop to the success of what it is today. These hosts are able to capture the genuine joys and struggles that come with any fitness journey while inspiring others along their own journey. The variety of the guests makes each episode unique while providing some insight into different aspects of training. Everyone can appreciate the honor and humor, the honesty and humor that this podcast has to offer.
That's nice.
That's very nice.
That was very nice.
Yep. And reviews, that doesn't mean that because we got 2 reviews, that doesn't mean our listeners can stop giving them. I'm always on people about giving reviews, and we don't get enough.
5-star reviews.
5-star reviews.
None of this 1-2-star thing.
Yeah, we don't want that. But we're ranking pretty high. We're doing good. I appreciate everybody that's been nice enough to leave those reviews. We're going through a kitchen remodel, Amanda and I. In case you didn't notice the enormous dumpster outside.
I didn't notice anything. I poured a beer in my cup and ran inside.
It's a pain in the butt, man. Having your kitchen torn out. I'm going to be so dehydrated at Tunnel Hill because I haven't drank any water because we don't have a kitchen sink.
That's why you haven't drank any water.
That's correct.
That's okay.
Because the fridge is not in the kitchen and there's no kitchen sink. And, I'm a creature of habit.
Do you have a water hose outside?
Yeah, but I
We have
don't.
sinks in the
I don't
bathroom.
go out
There's
there.
sinks in the bathroom.
I realize there's a solution. I'm not saying like I'm over here dying. I'm saying that it's out. I'm out of my element. It's out of the norm.
Well, you better hydrate. You have a little bit of running to do.
Yeah, but I don't have 100. I just have 50, so maybe I don't have to drink as much as you. You should be on that water hose right now.
I should be.
Do you drink a lot of
I've
water?
been drinking crazy amounts of water for the last week. So.
Wow.
Do you drink water regularly?
I do. I drink water all day long.
Amanda,
all
you have a couple
day
bottle caps every day.
I do. I have to drink, I think it's 90 ounces a day.
What about you, Johnny?
Wow. About with her.
I bet you're a regimented guy.
So it's according with what the season is and what I'm getting prepared for. I mean, it's always different seasons that you do different things, and I'm a 90-day person. I feel like every 90 days you should be changing something. And people say, why is that? I say, because you look at the season. The season changed every 90 days. So every 90 days you should expect something in your life to change. And so that's why I kind of create that. I don't have a year goal. I don't have a 5-year goal. I have a 90-day goal. And so I evaluate what happens after that 90 days and set a new goal for the next 90 days. So when you have summer, you have fall, you have spring. I mean, you have everything's changing.
Do you schedule your changes according to the seasons?
Yes. I mean, because being that I do several different things as far as doing fitness, during the summertime, I put on more muscle because I'm going to be talking to more athletes. I'm going to be in locker rooms motivating football players to get ready for the game. And so when the winter time and start approaching the winter, I kind of lean out because now I turn into mostly a fitness coach and a fitness instructor. And if I'm too big and I'm muscular and I'm teaching a fitness class, most ladies come in there and they think that if they do one thing with the weight, they're going to buck up.
I
and
don't want to touch that barbell.
Yeah. So I kind of try to adjust, my transformation to fit whatever market that I'm going after that season.
That's super smart.
I've always been impressed by people that can willfully change their body composition. Somebody like me, I've struggled with weight my entire life. So to lose weight is a big accomplishment, but I know people that just decide, you know what, I want to run more. I want to lean out. I want to do this. And then you see them 8-10 weeks later and they look completely different.
Right.
Then they decide, I want to deadlift 500 pounds. And the next time you see them, they're all jacked up and, they put on 40 pounds. And so to have that kind of discipline, I'm assuming you've had that most of your life?
Yes, I have. I mean, I'm just a purpose-driven person. I put things in, instead of thinking about that transformation goal, I think about what's the outcome of that, why am I doing it? And so when I figure out why I'm doing it, then doing it is the easy part because I got a why to support it. So I say, okay, what's my reason why I'm changing every 90 days? Is because now it's my livelihood. It's my career. It's my brand. It's something that I'm trying to leave back for my kids. So now every time I go to work out and I'm in that transformation, I'm saying, why am I up at 4:15 in the morning? And you're making that drive and, everything in your head is saying not to go. Don't go as hard today. Then I think about, I got a 7-year-old. I got a 5-year-old. We started kind of late. I'm 41. I got to build something for them. So I don't know 10 years and 15 years from now that they would want to do this, but they would have the opportunity. So now I have to continue to the vision that I have for J-Lo Fitness. I have to continue to fight for it. And so that's what drives me. On the treadmill, when it's time to lean out, I'm doing more cardio that I don't want to do. I just like, man, this is why you're doing it. This is why you're doing it. This is why you're doing it. And, when you're doing it by yourself, it's kind of hard to keep yourself motivated. Mm-hmm. But you got to continue to remind yourself of that why. This is why I'm doing it.
Well, you said something there when you referred to you have a brand. Mm-hmm. And you do have a brand. And the odds of building a brand that's reputable, especially in the fitness industry, has got to be extremely, extremely small, especially for an individual who has their own style of fitness. CrossFit obviously has taken over the world, so people are familiar with that. Mm-hmm. And so you can build off of that brand, and that gives you a pedestal and a stepping stone to do that with. But to build your own personal brand of fitness is pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. How did that come about?
Well, what I understand is I've been in fitness for 20 years. What I've seen is a lot of trends that come and goes and they continue to grow. And so you have, back when I first got started 20 years ago, being a certified personal trainer was a big thing. I mean, it was hard to get it. You had to go through the classes, through the courses. You had to study long to get a certification. Now
you just have to have a lot of Instagram followers.
Exactly.
And
you're right.
Really good.
And so you can pay $99, $59, do an online test, and all of a sudden, now you're a certified personal trainer. So it's watered down when it comes to who's allowed to educate and inspire and teach people fitness. And then even when we was coming up and I did fitness shows, to get a NPC card to be
When
a
you say fitness shows, like bodybuilding
Yes.
competitions?
I mean, to get a pro card was tough. I mean, you had to go through and win a lot of different things. It's not, I mean, it's still a little tough, but it's not as tough as it was when we started. So to be a fitness trainer, to be a personal trainer at a gym, you was kind of hot stuff. Then it trans over to if you had your own studio, you was kind of hot stuff. Then it went on over to now, the next 10 years, if you look, it's all about branding. If you have your own brand with the social media world taking off, now you can not just build your empire locally. You can build it all the way across the country. You can build it in Canada. You can build it in Mexico because social media covers everything. So when you think if you're a fitness trainer or you're teaching classes, you have to ask yourself, how long can I keep this up? Yeah, we know we ain't no spring chicken no more. We all know that, no matter how great or in shape you are, you start losing a little bit of that touch. So now, who's going to be the person that carry on when you can't carry the weight? And so you have to start being more futuristic of, am I really in this to build something to last, or I'm just in it to, like you say, get Instagram likes and social media likes? So it's really based on where you see yourself at, especially if you know you got a good product and you know it's adding value to other people and you believe in it. That's the biggest investment that you can do is into yourself, because you ain't going to let yourself down.
Do you find yourself coaching people? Do you coach people from all over the country?
Oh, yes.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, probably my most of my business comes from out of town.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I go to Dallas a lot.
But you have a brick and mortar place here locally.
Here in DeSoto County. Mm-hmm.
And you only train women, correct?
No, I train guys, athletes, youth. I have a sports academy named after my son, JT Sports Academy, where we have 6-year-olds to 13-year-old kids that comes in there and do a speed training, speed and agility. And what inspired me to do that is being a father and always wanted my own son, always wanted my kids. My dad was a great athlete. But just like most dads does, they provide for the family. So they focus on working and taking care of the bills and making sure the house is protected. And it used to hurt me. I wanted my dad to get off work early, come throw ball with me, show me all this thing that people in town saying how great he was. And I couldn't get that. And me and my dad is close, but he had to work and support the family. And so he wanted to see me play sports. I played football, basketball, baseball, and track in school. And he was working. And so he would always listen to me on the radio. And after he get home, he said, "You're not using your stiff arm." So he's visualizing what I'm doing through the radio. And that hurt me for some years. And I say, if I ever get to that point where I have my own kid, even though I was working 80 hours a week before I had kids. And then I had that light bulb moment when she called me and she said, "Hey, I think JT is trying to say Dada." I was like, "Yes, that's my boy saying my name for the first time." And I got off the phone and I just broke down. I said, "Man, I prayed for kids. It was hard for us to have kids. I wanted this so bad. And I'm here working, training 80 hours a week from 5 o'clock in the morning to 8, 9 o'clock at night, all day long." I said, "This ain't what I signed up for. This is not what I said I was going to be." And so at that point right there, I said, look, I got to do something where I can actually create income without giving all my hours away. I said, because even if I don't make a lot of money, but spend that time in his childhood and develop him, it's still worth a lot to me. Because once the childhood's gone, it's gone. And this is the scariest thing that I hear from a lot of my clients and a lot of people that have older kids. I hear when they say, they grow up fast. That's the scariest term you can tell me, is they grow up fast. And people that having kids that going into college now, they were just like, oh, it just seemed like yesterday they were 6 and 7. They grow up fast and they out of the house. That scares me, because I want to make sure that I'm able to do what I'm supposed to do before they leave. Because we already know that outside world is a huge influence on your kids. So it's what you put in them is what's going to carry them over the duration.
How careful are you about getting too involved with your kids in their sports, coming from an athletic background? Are you the loud, obnoxious, in the coach's face guy?
Well, probably my son. To my son, I am. But for the other kids, I mean, because what I want to make sure that I'm in for him, that when it is time for someone else on a higher level to coach him, or even in middle school or high school, I want him to be prepared for what type of coach that comes his way to that note. So if a coach that he start coaching him and they into his face and saying bad words, he like, man, my dad been talking to me like that since I was 6. This don't bother me. I'm still gonna ball. So what I do is use sports, and sports is a ministry for me. And people just like, why you not teaching no more in the evening times? I say, you don't understand. I volunteer my service, and I build a relationship with the parents before the season even starts.
Oh, you are a coach.
Oh yeah, I coach every sport.
Okay, no, I was more referring to the guy on the sideline while there is a coach that needs to be doing his job, the parent that's in the way of that.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't
what
realize.
you just heard was, well,
is
I'll
the
just
coach.
because I am a coach.
I am the coach. So it is your job.
It is
to
my
do
job,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
And I make sure that I'm in, because even the parents, I say, look, I tell you what, when the season starts, every kid on there for an hour and a half, that's when we normally practice, is my kid too. I'm going to treat him just like he's my child. And at the end of the season, if you're not pleased with what I did, then you can critique me. But it's a process. And so some kid has it that you can put them right in the game, but some kids need to find their fit. And even though the parent on the side thinking their kid need to go pro next year, I just say, look, let me develop him. Let me develop him. And so that's what we do. I find each kid has a role to play on my team, even if we don't win the game. Prime example. I had a lot of new 7 and 8 football players. Only one played on my team last year. So I had no experience. A lot of them scored touchdowns. A lot of them made great highlights. But the MVP of my team, 7-year-old guy, was 138 pounds on my team. 7 years old.
God,
That's a lot.
138 pounds.
Yeah.
Started this season, really didn't make any plays. But and every day his mama had to pull him out the car to come to practice. You can see him coming late. I don't want to go. Do I have to go? And I told his mama, I say, anything you do, don't let him quit. I say, just don't let him quit. Don't let him quit. The guy ended the season had lost about 15, 20 pounds. And I told her, I say, that's the MVP of the team. Because people don't realize, even though your kid is not that athletic, a win is a win. And at 7 and 8 years old, come on now. I mean, that's a win.
Yeah,
that was better than
absolutely.
any touchdown.
Yeah.
So it changed his life. And that's why I do what I do.
Is there ever a sport where you see a kid where you're like, all right, you should go play basketball, right? Like, okay, football is just not your thing. You know, no matter how bad you want to play football. I coach a basketball team. Let's try that in 4 months.
Yeah, is there the other side to that where you tell a kid's mom, whatever you do, don't let him out of the car. Just keep driving.
Yeah,
Doesn't belong
there
here.
is some. You're right. There is some. But I guess I see it from a point that special. I guess if I know the dad is not in the life, and not saying that she's a single mom, or not saying that they're divorced. I'm saying that a dad that some moms are still single, that dad that works 80 hours a week because they do single mom stuff. So sometimes I see that, hey, he may not get in the game that much this year, but he going to enjoy football.
He needs to be around in this environment.
In the environment. So it's creating the culture that, and I always call it champions. I have them every single practice say, we are champions. We build champions. So, everybody wants to be a champion. So if you see a team, let's say Alabama, Roll Tide, they win the championship. All of a sudden you see so many Roll Tide shirts. Everybody on Facebook, social media, Roll Tide, Roll Tide. They got the shirt, Roll Tide. Just like, okay, you wasn't no Roll Tide fan. You from Tennessee. So it's all created of champions. They champions. Golden State. 5 years ago, couldn't find a Golden State Warrior.
Yeah.
Now everybody, hey, Golden State. So everybody want to be associated with champions.
Now, I was reading in your bio, and I have a list of reasons why I liked you before I even met you. One, because I knew you were high energy. I told you that I like that. And two, because you got me your bio and my pick. so quickly, which takes such a load off, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. But as I was going through your bio, I saw your high school football background, and I'm constantly getting on Amanda and Vaughn and our usual camera person, ketogenic Chris Perry, because they don't give me enough respect for my high school football accolades. They don't ever want to sit down and watch my highlight film. They don't ever ask me where my jersey is, and it's upsetting, as you should know, because you know how important high school football is. So I saw where you're an all-state. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Wow.
Yes, sir.
For who?
Wayne County High School.
Where is that?
Down in Waynesboro, Mississippi. Deep South country, real country.
Mm-hmm. What size school was that?
We are 5A. Well, we 5A now.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We were 6A 2 years ago, and then we dropped down to 5A.
That must have been a lot being all-state.
Well, I guess at that point, it wasn't many that came through that was, and I didn't really know the significance of it. I mean, my whole thing was trying to further my football career. I wanted to continue to play. So I guess all-state and the different thing, I guess I didn't understand how important that was and how big of a deal it was. Because I mean, I guess you don't see it while you're in the moment, but now you do, because people make a big deal out of it. Even now they do 7th grade. You rank this much in the nation.
Do they really?
Oh my God, it's crazy the way they recruiting early.
Uh-huh.
And when we were in high school, today everybody's story.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. If there's a kid that's good at football in high school, you just go look him up and find him on YouTube or something like that. Back then, you just had the TV.
Yeah. They got Huddle. That's what it's called, Huddle. Huddle, now scouts don't have to travel to the game. Scouts now just get on the Huddle.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They say, hey, I want a player that has qualified through the NCAA clearinghouse, have qualified ACT, and that plays wide receiver. 6'2", 180, runs a certain thing.
Oh, well, there he is, down there in West Point,
wow.
Mississippi. Go get him.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Technology's so crazy.
So when they were looking for me, they'd put in 6'5",
If you could have
6'5", 40,
had
and
YouTube.
4'5", 40. I've been trying to. I'm always telling Amanda how when I played, I was 6'5" and ran a 4'5", 40, which obviously I'm sticking with 6 foot. I'm definitely 6 foot, and probably closer to it. I had a coach that introduced me to some friends of his years down the line, Coach Netherland, and he introduced me to these guys, and he said Wilson was so slow, he was deceptively slow. But I can remember what was the name of the magazine that came out every year preseason? It's still in circulation, and it's still a big magazine. Not Lindy's, but that was the thing to get that the preseason high school and see what they were saying, because they ranked every high school or most high schools, and they would say like the upcoming football players, and that was the goal, to just get a mention in that magazine. And I remember that coming out and being the biggest thing in the world. Now, I'm sure these guys Google themselves and they pop up everywhere. Mm-hmm. That would be a heck of a rush. So then after you got out of high school, you went and played at the collegiate level.
Yeah, South Carolina State.
What did you play there?
Receiver, punt return, and kick return.
How did you go from down there in Mississippi to South Carolina State? How did that happen?
It was actually a little bit of bittersweet, a heartbreak, then a blessing, because I was my goal and my plan was to go to Alabama. That's why I said Alabama. They offered me to come there, and being that I really didn't know about the ACT and no one gave me guidance of that part, I went to visit. They sent me on a visit there. Loved the campus. Dreamed of playing at Alabama. Come back, and the recruiter called me. He said, hey, we like what we see. We like you. What you make on the ACT? I said, ACT? Here I am going into my senior year, and I haven't even took the ACT.
Oh, man.
And I was just like, I said, I make good grades. I make A and B in school. He said, no, you have to take the ACT. So to make a long story short, He said, you got one chance to take it because signing day is coming up in 2 months. And so I took the test and didn't do good at all. I guess I can go ahead and say what I made the first time that I did. I made a 13 on the ACT. Wasn't prepared. Really didn't know much about it. He called back. He said, oh, man, I tell you what. Let's send you to Jones Junior College. And after 2 years, we'll pick you up and you can play with us. And so I let my mom know. And she said, no. I need for you to get a 4-year scholarship. I cannot afford for you to go to school. So once people realized that I didn't qualify, Division I AA schools started to call every day. I started receiving letters every day. And my mom, she's a praying mom. And so, she's going to pray over everything. And she just praying. She's just praying. And so South Carolina State at that time was the number one black college in the country, and they was ranked in Division I AA. They was ranked number 8 in the nation, and so the head coach actually came to visit my mom and fell in love. And my first time ever getting on the plane, he gave me a ticket to go to South Carolina. And so once I got there, he said, I'm going to tell you like this. Everybody else was saying, hey, you can do this and you can go to the NFL. You can go to the NFL. He said, Miss Loper, I'm going to tell you this about your son. I can't promise he can go to the NFL. If he's good enough, they'll find him. He said, well, what I can guarantee him, I can guarantee him 3 meals, a place to sleep, and he will graduate with a degree. She said, sign him up. She said, because no one have come in this house and sit on my couch and told me and guaranteed that my son was going to get a degree. And that's all I want. I was saying, Mom, you NFL, I can make a lot of money. You working all these jobs and you trying to take care of. No, I can. She said, no, I need you to get a degree. And so and he stuck to his word and he made sure that happened. That's how I got to South Carolina State.
Wow, that's a great story.
Yeah.
I would love to see how that works with the coaches that are good recruiters. And some of them aren't even head coaches. Some of these guys just have cronies that go out that know how to do it. And the question is, what do they say to these players? And the answer is always, they don't say anything to the players. It's what they say to these players' moms and dads and say the right things and whether they're going to follow through with them, because then those parents, they check to see how credible these people are that are preaching the gospel at their kitchen table. And if they do what they say they're going to do, that's how you get University of Alabama.
I don't know if that happens in the NFL, but are people just skipping college altogether now? I feel like there's high school kids that go straight to the NBA.
You can't go straight to the NFL. You have to. Is it 2 years? I think you have to play 2 years of college football. And I don't know I had the same question. I was arguing with Grayson about that because my question was, what if you don't go to college? What if you don't make the grades to get into college? Does that just keep you from playing
We looked that all
NFL?
up at Orange Beach. We were at Orange Beach having this discussion.
Do you remember what the answer was?
No, but I remember where we were parked when we had the conversation.
Well, if you're, here's what happens in college. I imagine they make sure that you get, if you're that good of a football player, they're going to make sure you get,
Yeah.
Some assistance. Yes.
They're going to make sure that your grades are whatever. But I was just curious. I feel like there's a thing because I follow the NBA a little bit. I feel like I know there's kids that go graduate from high school and then all of a sudden they make $1 million in the NBA, and there's just no college at all.
Well, baseball is the same.
Yeah, in baseball. Yeah.
Baseball, they do it a lot.
A lot.
They jump out of high school and go straight to baseball, and you can, if I'm not mistaken, you can get out of baseball. You can leave high school, graduate high school, go play baseball, sign with the major leagues, and then come back and play college football if it doesn't work out for you. Whereas if you declare yourself eligible for the draft in the NFL, your college days are done.
Right.
You can't turn around and say, well, I didn't get the money I thought I was going to get. If you punch the button, you're out.
Yeah, I just think in football it's such and difference from football and baseball, it's such a maturity level. Because you got to think, if you're leaving high school to go right into the NFL, you could be 18 and 19 playing against a 34-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the maturity is totally different. So that you got a daddy playing with his pretty much his son.
Yeah.
But also,
That's true.
I brought it up because there's something to like your experience where you really appreciate that moment. You appreciate that conversation that guy had with your mom, and you are aware of the fact that this doesn't happen to everybody. I worked really hard to get where I am versus this kid in high school that's going straight to the major leagues making
Right.
$50 million and nobody likes that guy.
Yeah.
Because of that. Like everybody you'll have a quality about you that people, I like that guy. But when you give an 18-year-old $50 million, all of a sudden most of the time I imagine he probably turns into a kid that nobody wants to be around 95% of the time.
Well, it sounds like that you were on the flip side of things where maybe you didn't realize how gifted you were, because generally the problem is there's 20 kids on a high school football team that all think that they're NFL material. And the truth is none of them are. I mean, the odds of going to the NFL, I knew one player out of playing 4 years with I knew one player from Germantown, period, that went to, and that's a powerhouse football school. And maybe there was two that even touched the NFL. Tony Williams was successful, and that was the only person that I knew that had any kind of career there. I mean, but even if you see the field at a collegiate level at any size, then that says a lot. If you see the field without pads on, if you can make it to a Saturday game in Division I and be a part of the team or a traveling member of the team, you're some kind of athlete.
Right.
You're a special athlete. And a lot of the best athletes, a lot of things have to go your way. There's a lot of injuries to be had. There's a lot of grades to make. There's a lot of things that can keep excellent players off the football team. And the problem is all these mom and dads think they're all excellent football players.
Right.
Where football is not being athletic is not an insurance policy that most people in the world need to rely on. Certainly wasn't for me. So when you got out of college, did you know that you were going to be a fitness instructor?
No, I mean, I was still, once I got out of college and had several NFL workouts, tryouts, and visits, I went and played arena football for some years.
That's right.
Oh, who'd you play football for?
I played with Tampa Bay Storm, then I finished up with the Memphis Explorers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's totally cool. There's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah. So it was just one of those things that, I'm not giving up on the dream yet. Probably should have, because I feel a whole lot of those injuries now. But every year that I got the opportunity to play arena football, after every season, I got an opportunity to compete to go to the NFL. And just like you said, sometimes you have to be in the right place. An injury had to happen, and it just has to be a great fit. Because the difference from one guy to the other one is not much different. It's just an opportunity that someone stepped in. If you want to think about Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe never got hurt. Will we ever heard of Tom Brady? And so you look at a lot of people that fill in that gap. Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I was just about to say. Yeah.
That's who I was thinking
Dak
of.
Prescott.
That was another thing on my list of why I like you. I'm a Mississippi State fan, so
Yeah.
I love Dak Prescott.
So I mean, he was good, but we would have never knew that.
Never.
Unless Tony got hurt. So it's like I say, it's all about what's your purpose in life, and whatever your purpose is, no matter how you see it, it's gonna work out if you continue to fight and believe in it. And now that I look back at things, playing in the NFL wasn't my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I was created to. What I have more joy in today is seeing a person transform, getting someone that comes in there have no hope about their future, has no hope, feel like I've had kids, I've had 3 or 4 kids, I've always been into my kids, and I put myself last. Now I feel like a champion. Even at my studio, people know that we call each other champions. How you doing today, champion? And so if you got a mom that say, all I do is take care of kids. All I do is be a wife. I want a time for me. It's all about me. How do I get to that? And so we just try to build them up from that station because there's enough people tearing them down. And so when they come in our place, our workouts is not a CrossFit workout. CrossFit workout and the program is strategically, it is awesome. It's a hard workout and it takes you at different levels. Our workout is not a CrossFit workout. And that's not where we're not in competition with CrossFit or any other. We're just trying to reach that market that would never touch foot in a gym and just love on them. So as far as the people like, when we going to do box jump? No, we ain't going to do box jumps. We're going to do the basic stuff, but we're going to do it consistently. We're going to keep you motivated and inspired to focus on your nutrition, because we know nutrition is the key part. So now, if we got you focused on your nutrition, we keep you excited, inspired, and motivated, the odds of you continue to come is very high. And we know that in order to get great results, you got to be consistent. So if we can motivate you to keep coming, by default, you lose a couple pounds. By default, you feel good about yourself. By default, you feel like, I'm this fit person, and then we celebrate you on social media. That's the thing. People love to be celebrated.
Don't they, though? And I'm right there in that, for sure.
And so we just celebrate them. We their biggest cheerleader.
Do you have a big Instagram, Facebook following? Do you have someone who takes care of that for you, or is that you press the buttons?
I do it all myself.
Do you?
Yeah. I've had assistants in the past, and they went great. But when something on my heart, I don't want to have to send it to my assistant to put it out because it waters it down. When something on my heart and I start thinking about it, I stop and I just put it out there. I let it go because that's what needs to be said at that point. But if I send it to my assistant and say, hey, I need this on all my social media. Right now we have over 25,000 followers on social media. And so I just always speak from the heart. And I make sure that I get up early, because I feel like alone time and quiet time is when I get the best nugget to post. And every single morning, I'm going to post something.
How do you feel about CrossFit?
I think it's a great
This isn't
workout.
a trick question. I'm not trying to put
I
you
think
in
it's
some
a
kind
great workout. I have some
bag.
people that comes to my classes that loves CrossFit, and they CrossFit fanatics. And I think it's I got a chance to actually sit down with Rich Froning for CrossFit. And just to kind of see him work out, I was just like, man, I thought I was in shape, man. This dude 20 times. Just the way he take his body through things is amazing. And plus, I like him because he's a family man. He got kids and he love them. And so I think it's a great community to reach a different market and to get someone that always wanted to compete and do different things, to get them started. And so my thing is, you got title boxing, you have James Gym. I promote all of them. I've actually, worked at James Gym to educate the ladies there for about a year and a half. Title boxing there in Olive Branch, that I'm doing something for them now to allow people to walk through their doors. So I'm all for not trying to get everybody to come to, because my place ain't that big. So
Nobody's place is that big.
Yeah, so I can't, I can't get everybody in this. DeSoto County is a huge county. And if you look at Goodman Road, you got a place here, you got a place here. You got so many different places to work out. My key is just work out.
I think there's a lot to be said for that. We promote just being active.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that bothers me the most about Lift Heavy Run Long is the perception that there is a heavy or a long, and that people think, I've got to get to this place before I'm part of that. Whereas I'm on the side of the couch that came in to the people that you're talking about catering to. That was where I was. I wasn't looking for competition. I wasn't looking to be swinging from the rafters. I was looking to be loved, and I was looking to find some people that would accept me. And I found that in CrossFit, but I wanted to find it anywhere that I could. And so I promote people getting out and doing that at whatever level they can do that. The people that, the ladies that, we have a lady at our gym. How old is Debbie, you think?
63?
63. She travels with a posse. Every race that you go to, she's got 4 or 5 other women that she's dragging around with her, whether they like it or not, getting them walking, getting them fit. And, you just see that and you think those are 4 or 5 women that, we're sitting at home wondering where to start. The fitness world can be so intimidating because you think everybody looks like this or everybody looks like that. And it's just not that way.
If you're, I've always said, going back to your point a minute ago, I just need 100 people in this facility, right? There's how many thousands of people in DeSoto County. But at the same time, we're all doing the same thing, which is just accepting people where they're at and wanting to help them, right? If you become this place that's an exclusive thing where, oh, you can't, you're not good enough to be in this place, that's when you start to tank,
Right.
Because you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Right.
And so, but you find your 100 people where you're just like, look, I don't care what you can do. I just need you to show up. Right. And then that's when you start building your community.
Right.
And you have a vested interest in people moving around as much as possible. If you want to go to CrossFit, if you want to go to Jane's gym, if you want to go to title boxing, keep moving and everybody keeps circulating. And the more people that are getting fit, the more business there are, because the fitness business grows based on activity. I mean, there's plenty of people out there in the world. There are certainly not enough gyms to accommodate all the people. If everybody woke up tomorrow and said, we're all going to get fit today, it just wouldn't work that way.
Yeah.
I think it would be a big plus. I mean, so you have some people that open up gym and they just business people. They probably don't even work out at their gym. They just see a good business opportunity. They invest in it. They never go to the gym, and they let other people kind of run it. But I feel like Mr. Vaughn was saying, I feel like if gyms or places would partner, not compete against each other, but partner in that vision what he was talking about to reach the massive. Because everybody can't go to the same place, and everybody's not going to be interested in the same place. But if people can kind of partner where you actually have a set where people know that, hey, these people are meeting and they talking about fitness. And whoever I see myself with and they catch my attention that I can relate to, because somebody that relate to me may not relate to Mr. Vaughn.
Right.
But somebody relate to him may not relate to me. So it's almost kind of like, I'm going to give you a buffet of people. You choose what you want to eat.
Yep.
And so now it's not like, I don't want him to go over there because I'm going to lose a member. And you got business mind people that looking at, they my people. They're not your people. They're people. And so you have to get other folks and say, what's the best for that person? And if I have a person that's coming to my gym and they're like, this workout was too easy, it didn't challenge me, I say, you may need to try a harder workout. I mean, I wouldn't say, oh, no, we tough. No, we consistent. We steady. Well, we definitely not
We're
tough.
Us.
Yeah, we us.
do what we do.
That's it.
And there's going to be that person that's like that kid getting out of the mom's car at the football. Right? It's like, okay, look, you should try basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think of it a lot along the lines of the internet and the open source code when that started to become a thing. And Vaughn, tell me if I get out of line with this, but when they just kind of went against the grain and opened it up to everybody, they found that there was plenty to learn. There's plenty of growth. There was things that could be changed faster and more efficiently. And you see that more and more with businesses that feel like, let's welcome everybody. However, we all need to learn to do it. Let's all get together and start doing it and get whatever piece of the pie we can get. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to run people out and say, you know what, I've paid my rent, so go on over here to this gym because I think they're struggling. But, continuing to circle the soup. The title boxing, that's the one that's owned by Troy Pyle. Is that correct?
Peel. Troy and Janessa Peel.
Troy and Janessa Peel. I've met them at Olive Branch CrossFit, and then they opened that, and I know that people have, some of the members of the gym have like boxing night where they all go over there and take a class and and enjoy that. And I think that's a neat thing. That,
Right.
It's just people trying different stuff. You don't want to do the same thing all the time.
I went to Shackelford's kickboxing with Pam.
Yeah, that's right.
I went a couple weeks ago. I loved it. It's
Yeah.
fun. I'd like to add that in my schedule every once in a while. Just something different.
Right.
You're moving around and sweating and
Yeah.
And Ted Crowdus owns Jane's Gym.
Change you.
Does he own all of that?
Did you say, do we own all of it?
Is that 100%
that's
his?
his.
He's the one that did the trademarking for. He filed the trademarking for Lift Heavy Run Long.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you
that's
have
awesome.
a trademark for your brand? I'm just curious.
Say that again?
Do you have a trademark for your
Yes.
brand?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
What kind of process was that? 9-month year-long process?
Man, I did mine way back in, 2005, 2006. And me and my brother, we actually got it started again. My brother is the colonel in the Army.
wow.
And,
Oh, is he really?
yeah. He's a colonel in the Army.
Discipline didn't skip y'all.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so yeah, I mean it's been great for us.
Have you ever had to shut anybody down with J-Lo? Have you ever been online and seen somebody using J-Lo and had to send them the letter?
Yeah. No.
You have?
No,
Oh,
we
okay.
haven't. I'm just curious. Like, apparently the Salt Life people is the people we always, when we get in this conversation, we talk about the Salt Life thing. And apparently they have like this shark team of lawyers.
As long as it's coming
that,
through.
like if you post something on the internet that's Salt Life or even using the font, they'll sue you. You're in trouble.
Well, they are a constantly referred to story of promotional products. I mean, they were just some dudes hanging out that thought, "Hey, this is a fun weekend. Like we should call this the Salt Life and make some shirts." And next thing you know, it's going nuts, and people are buying all this Salt Life stuff. So they have an interest to protect, basically because they came from nothing. But I don't know what their worth is or their final story, but from what I've been told, they certainly don't have to work anymore.
Wow.
That would be a pretty neat thing. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So what direction is JLo Fitness going now? How do you see yourself in 2, 3, 4 years?
Really basing helping my trainers out, helping my trainers continue to grow. Do more traveling on the off season, and basically my main focus now as far as JLo Fitness is continue with my son and daughter. That's JLo Fitness. Even though me being out coaching and taking other cheer and stuff doesn't pay, it's still JLo Fitness, and I want people to see that it's possible. That hey, you can be you can have family time and just really coach and teach balance. That's my whole key. I want people to look at me and just say, hey, he's just not a fitness person. He's a husband. He's a dad, and he's doing fitness. And so I don't want them to say, hey, there go the fitness guy. I want them to say, hey, there goes a guy that's coaching his kid in every sport, that's being at his daughter activities, classroom dad, have date night with his wife. So I want them to see really true balance. Not that, oh, this guy, he's the fit guy. I mean, sooner or later that plays out. I mean, that plays out, and that's not my ultimate goal right now.
Well, you're a master strategizer and marketing genius, because if you want a customer for life, coach their kid at something. You're exactly right. Because I can name every coach I ever had and how he made me feel, and I think about them more as I get older than I did at the time.
Things they said.
That's right. And, it's sad that it takes 30, 35 years for those things to click.
Right.
But some people are slower than others. Then I watch the coaches with our kids now, and I can't appreciate them enough, because I don't want to do it. I don't have the patience to do it. I don't have the knowledge to do it. I don't have that thing that you have to motivate children and teach them to grow in a positive direction. And the parents watching you will do whatever, they'll buy whatever you're selling forever.
Right.
And my hat's off to you for doing it, because it would be really easy to have said what you said and thought, if I ever have kids, it's going to be like this, and I'm going to do things like that. And then it gets closer to time. Well, you know,
Right.
I'm busy and things are getting more expensive, and maybe next week, and you know, those promises can fall by the wayside really quick. I know that from experience, sadly, but it sounds like that you're walking the walk, and I admire you for it.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, it's just, I think it's, you know, it's always going to be tough. I mean, it's always going to be a challenge. But at the end of the season, and it happens in every, I always tell him, I say, are you ready to choose a sport that you like? I say, do you still like football? He said, yeah, football, about a 10. We always measure stuff at our house from scale 1 to 10. I said, what about baseball? 9. I say, that's pretty high. What about basketball? 9. I say, so you still want to play all 3? He said, yes. And I think the ultimate thing for me is at the end of the season, we can be leaving, game's over, and he'll just say, thanks, Dad. For what? Just thanks. So in his heart, I know what that means. And so I don't go a little further, and all of a sudden we can be driving. Love you, Dad. And I say, man, money cannot buy that. And so I know he's telling me thanks and he loved me because I didn't have to coach him. I didn't have to leave my job, because a lot of times you can start seeing dollar signs and you know where you want your bank account. You know what you want to do for your family. And you start saying, man, this company in Canada just asked me to come for 6 months and they'll give me $100,000. I might jump on that. And you think like, what would I miss?
Wow.
And so that's when you really have to check yourself. With this $100,000, it will be awesome, but you'll miss out on his football. You won't be his coach, and you won't be his basketball coach. And that right there just really pulls at me. And I say, if you get an opportunity like that now, when he graduates, if it's you and you continue to do what you do, you have the opportunity then. And so that's something that I have to always keep reminding myself. It's not about the dollar amount. It's about the time. And I think more people feel that even though money is very important, pretty much up there with oxygen. You got to have it. And people say, no, money ain't that important. I say, okay, try to go without it and see what happens. Without oxygen, it kill you. Without money, sometimes it probably kill you too. And so you just have to continue to know what's your goal, what's your why. Live beneath your means. Don't try to go be extravagant. And I think if you keep it in that realm and keep it, you don't have to really focus on making a whole lot of money, because now you're not trying to impress the Joneses. The Joneses are broke too.
They just spend all their money.
Last question. Do you love what you do?
Love it.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day you wake up and you're excited to be here,
Ready to
glad to
roll.
be on the earth.
Man, I don't see how you couldn't. You knowing that every day that when you walk in there, people going to appreciate. My class started at 5 a.m. in the morning. People are there at 4:20, 4:30. I'm just like, y'all in that big a rush to get out the bed with y'all husband to get here to be in that class. And then if I come at 4:45, they say I'm late. I said, class do not start until 5, but they there. And they don't miss. People that join our gym, they don't miss.
It's because your energy is contagious. That's your problem. You started that.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a lot of fun, man. I mean, you got to think, playing good music early in the morning, listening fun, and laughing the first thing in the morning, it sets the pace for the rest of your day. But getting up dreading, it drains your energy. It takes a whole lot from you when you know you're going somewhere that you're not passionate about. And you knowing that you wouldn't do it for free. And you knowing the only reason you're going is because they paying you. You're doing enough to not get fired, and you're doing enough that you won't quit. And so you just right there saying, how long can I keep this pace up? Because it's not my heart. And I can tell just by sitting with you today, what you're doing right now, you love this.
I love it.
I know it. I can tell. And people can feel that. People can feel that through your voice. I mean, people might not even see, I guess they can see it live, but they can hear in your voice like this. And that's probably why you get great views. And people follow you because they know that you're doing something that you're passionate about. And what happens is people are scared to follow their passion. Because at the beginning of your passion, you don't get paid much for it. At the beginning, you don't get paid. So
We're at the beginning.
and so that's what happens. People say it's not worth me to follow my dream and my passion because I don't see the reward right now. But you have to. It's a process. It's a process. You just say, hey, I know I'm doing things right and for the right reason. Whatever comes from it, comes from it.
Man, you need to be around more often. Well, listen, we hit the hour. Man, I told you we'd get you out of here in an hour. I've loved having you. Man, what a joy. What an energy.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I can see why people need you around to motivate, man. You're good at what you do. Is there anything that you want to plug, anything you want to put out there before we cut it off?
Not much. Just learn how to love people and unite. And one thing that I always, like to say, that with the country so divided and things are so different, one thing about fitness, even his fitness is one thing that brings people together. And when people are tired and people are fatigued or running 50 miles or 100 miles, one thing they're not thinking about the outside world. They're not thinking about nothing but oxygen, how far I've gone, am I at the right pace? And they're not thinking about this religion or who's voted for what or what color. All they thinking about is a common goal that we're going to finish together. Well, not together. She's probably going to be a lot faster than
me.
You probably going to be a lot faster than her because, you play high school football, right?
That was a great save.
Yeah, I come back and get it. That's right. So that's it. I mean, use fitness and use your ministry to unite and bring people to go on a common goal.
I love that. I ask you what you want to plug, and you plug love and unity. Mm-hmm. Fantastic, man. This has been great. LHRL number 73 is in the books.
All right.
Thank you.